Hello everybody, this is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you. I'd like to talk about the Michigan-Utah game. I'm going to break it down. Here's my analysis of it. After watching Jim Harbaugh coach at Stanford and Frisco, I know he's a very strong defensive-minded coach, likes to run the ball. Even when he had Andrew Luck, he ran Toby Gerhardt all the time, 30 times a game. They played low-scoring games. Frisco, they certainly played low-scoring games most of the time, except for when Kaepernick would run. So I look at Michigan without really a good quarterback. If this quarterback Ruddock's in competition with Morris, and he hasn't named the starter, they got big problems because Morris is terrible. So if Ruddock can't outbeat him, then Michigan has no quarterback. So I look at Michigan to run the ball a lot, do the power look. That's 6 offensive linemen like Harbaugh likes to do, and they'll run. He doesn't like to turn the ball over, so play safe. They'll play field position, and they have a very good defense. Utah's coach Whittingham, on the same token, does the same thing. He's got a very strong runner. He's going to run the ball. He'll have safe passes, and he has an outstanding defense also. So I see this as a very tight defensive game. I look at it, it's going to be hard to score touchdowns in the red zone. I think if they score, it'll be long passes, but they don't have quarterbacks to make long passes. So the only touchdowns in this game, I believe, are going to be off of turnovers or punt returns, something where it's a fumbled punt, a punt return, a quarterback gets sacked and fumbled, and it's a 6 or a pick 6. These are the only way they're going to score a lot. So I'm going to play the percentages and say this is an under game. I like Utah 20-13. I think it's low scoring, a lot of field goals, and they're going to play field position. Michigan had a very good defense last year. Their problem was Devin Gardner kept turning the ball over, creating holes for the defense, and then it became very one-dimensional, very tired, because the offense couldn't stay on the field. And that's why these spread teams have a problem winning, because they score a lot of points, but they don't rest their defense. So the defense gets tired, and then the other team pounds them and scores against them. That's why usually the best teams are the ones that can kind of mix it up, run it enough, and rest their defense, and let the defense dominate, a la the Seattle Seahawks. That's how they win. They run it and they play defense. And the New York Giants with Lawrence Taylor, Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, Packers in the 60s. You can go down the list. Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys, the Miami Hurricanes. It was killer defense. That's how you win. But you can't win it with a spread offense, because then it doesn't rest the defense. So that's what I look at. So my play is to take the under in this game. So it's 46.5. Go under 52.5. I think is a very strong play here. I can't imagine it getting over 35 points unless you have. You might get like 26-13, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I can't see it exploding to a high-scoring game unless you have a lot of pick sixes and fumble returns, kickoff returns, stuff like that. So if you get a normal kick it out of the end zone, run the ball, punt, play field position, no major turnovers, this would be a very low-scoring game. And without the quarterbacks and the way they play, and they both want to run the ball, you shouldn't have a lot of turnovers. I would play this teaser. I like Duke laying 7 to Tulane. The spread came down from 9 to 7. I like Duke laying 3, but I love Duke laying 1. Duke will win the game. Tulane is nothing. They have a little bit of a spread offense they're trying to implement, but I don't know if they have the personnel for it. Tulane's been terrible, so it's not like they're all of a sudden this good team. And Duke really has a lot of people back. They're just missing their quarterback. So, they have a lot of skill position, they have a good defense, and they got a good coach. And that's my recipe for winning, is the coach, the defense, and the quarterback. So I know the quarterback's a little new, but he played last year. I think he was injured 2 years ago. And they're going to run the ball, and they're going to play good defense on Tulane, and I just don't see them. It's kind of a must-win games, these early ones, because Duke needs to, they want to get to their 7 wins to get a bowl game, or 6 wins, whatever it is. So when they get these little games against the Tulanes and the Texas States and things like that, they have to win them because they got a tougher schedule. More so in the SEC. when the teams like Mississippi State plays Southern Miss, and Alabama plays some Texas Southern or something. They have to win those games because they got such a hard schedule. So that's why I like playing those in those situations. I'm going to quickly talk about line movements just to walk through what's been moving. Central Florida went from 17 to 13. TCU went from 14 to 16.5. Like I said, Duke from 9.5 to 7.5. Vanderbilt went from a 17-point favorite to a 2.5-point dog. I don't like Western Kentucky as much as a favorite as I would as a dog, especially against an SEC team in Vanderbilt. Had Western Kentucky been playing Southwest Missouri and then they're a 3-point favorite, I would take them. But against a better Vanderbilt team, now you're making Vanderbilt a home dog. I don't buy Western Kentucky as a road favorite as much as I bought them as a road dog to Vanderbilt. Their offense would keep them in the game. They got a great quarterback in Doherty, a great running back. So Western Kentucky is a live dog, but not a road favorite against an SEC team. So you got to be careful of the trend and of the personality of the team when they move from favorite to dog, or dog to favorite, and they're not the same team. It's not the same bet. Baylor's up to laying 36. I think they're going to win like real big, in the 60s to about 7. Michigan State went from 19 down to 17. Illinois, with their coach fired, 16 to 14. Tulsa went from -12 to -7. Tulsa's terrible. They can't really beat anybody. UCLA jumped from 14 to 20. Let's see real quickly. Kentucky moved from 14 to 17. West Virginia went from 31 to, I believe it's 20. Alabama went from 10 to 12. Be very careful on this game. Wisconsin is a 15-0 road dog the last, I think it's 3 or 4 years. They're a very live dog. They're a very good team. So I know Alabama, but Alabama doesn't have a quarterback either. It's like the Michigan game. No quarterback, great running, great defense. I think Alabama wins the game, but I don't see a blowout here. Mississippi State went from 15 to 21. You might play the over in the USC-Arkansas State game. I think that's 69. Arkansas State's a very explosive team. So they could score in the 20s on USC. USC's explosive, will probably get in the 40s. So that could be, 69's a little high, but not bad. And Ohio State really went from 14 down to 11, back to 14. I think they get the revenge. So you got to watch the movements, but you can't fall in love because a team moved 4 points just to bet it. I was at Caesars a couple years ago when Fresno State had Derek Carr, and they're laying 7 to San Jose State. I go to bed Thursday night. I wake up Friday. The spread jumped to 11. Now I'd already teased Fresno State laying 1. Spread goes to 11. I go back to the little cards and I make a 14 teaser keeping Fresno State -1. So now the spread jumps 4 points. That's a lot of money on Fresno State. Somebody must know something. San Jose State wins by 10 or something. It was like 60 to 50. So you can't just look at the line movement going, the public, somebody knows something, they're going to win, it's a lock, and boom. So you can't buy that. You've got to make your own pick and stick with it. And the line movement, who knows? It's really not an indicator. It doesn't tell you by watching the line move that this is what's going to happen. So you got to be very careful with that. However, like Duke, I like the -9. It goes down to 7. There's no injury. Why is the Duke line going down? So Duke line -1 is even a better bet. I don't have to worry about the field goal. Now Duke just has to win. And keep in mind the line's based on the 7 or the 8. So they might think Tulane will play a close game, but in teaser land, we're going lay 1. I mean, all they got to do is win. Well, Duke's going to win the game. They got a much better team, much better coach, good defense. A lot of players back. They've just lost their quarterback, and this quarterback's played. He got injured, so it's not like he's a young freshman who's never played before. So you got to be careful of that. I would watch UCLA's freshman. He's supposed to be really, really good. Josh Rosen. Keep an eye on him. UCLA is loaded all over the place, offensively, defensively. Their offensive line's great. Their defense is great. They got a great running back in Perkins. If Rosen is anything, look out. They'll win it all. They have the potential to win it all. They got a great coach. So, again, keep in mind the line movements. don't fall in love with them because the line moves 3 points. You just want to bet them. All right, well, everybody have a great Labor Day. I will be in Caesar's Palace tomorrow, and please come by if you see me and say hi. And we can talk football, we can talk poker. I'll be in the poker room and at the sports book. So have a great weekend, and good luck, and build your bankroll. The more you build your bankroll, the more you can bet, the more you can win. All right, everybody, have a great Labor Day.